we saw this example whereby it speaks about a school which held a sports day, okay? And then they said the one of the items, it was an obstacle race. There were 10 parents and learners participating in the race. And then the table shows the time taken in minutes. Okay? Now, what we always have to check is this thing here done in an ascending order? Is it in an ascending order?
Yes.
We have from the smallest to the biggest. Okay? And then when do we check ascending order? If they say determine the 5 number summary. Okay? Now, if we're going to be determining the 5 number summary, Amos, what is the first thing that the learner should do here? So we're going to write our minimum. Okay? It's not the min, it's the minimum. Okay? Minimum, put out. We have the minimum. What is going to be the minimum here? The minimum is it's 4. And then what is going to be the max, Amos? The max is going to be what? 25. Okay. And then from here onwards, we are going to determine our Q1, Q2, and Q3. Okay. So where should I start, Amos? Can you talk so that everyone can hear you?
Start by finding Q2.
We're going to start by finding Q2. Okay.
Yes.
How do you find Q2?
Tell from the mean and the max.
So we're going to say, okay, this mean, it goes with the max. Okay.
Yes.
And then we're going to say 12 goes with 22. Okay.
Yes.
And then we're going to say 13 goes with what? With 22. And we're going to say 16 goes with what? With 20. Yeah, one.
Yes.
And then we have 2 people who are remaining again. These 2 people that are remaining, we are going to put a line in between again.
Yes.
Now, you see this one, I'm not circling it again.
Yes.
Because I'm not circling it, it means this one plus this one is going to be our Q2. What is going to be our Q2 then? So we say it's going to be 17 plus 18 divided by 2, which is going to be 17,5. Okay, that's our Q2 again.
Yes.
Okay, sharp. After that, Amos, what is the next thing that they should do from here? We're going to find Q1 again.
Yes.
How to find Q1?
So you start with the first 5 numbers.
Again, this one here, it's going to be our 50% of the data again. From the 50% of the data, was also going to look for the median of this one again.
Yes.
So how do we do this one? We say, okay, 7, again, we didn't circle 17 again.
Yes.
17, so we're going to say 17 goes with 4. Nah? And then we say 16 goes with what? With 12. Does 13 have anyone to go with? It's a 1 for sword again.
Yes.
Because 13 is 1 for sword, we are going to circle each. Yeah? Once we write it this way, it's part of the data. If we're going to find another person, we're not going to count it. You get that again? So what is going to be our Q1 then? Our Q1 is going to be 13. Okay, we want to get Q3 then, Amos. What should they do if they want to get Q3? We do the same for the upper values again. For the other 50% of the data. So we're going to say 18 goes with 25 again. And then 20 goes with 22. So what is going to be our Q3? It's 22, it's the 1 for sword again.
Yes.
So we're going to say which our Q2 is going to be equal to what? Oh, our Q3 is 22. Okay, now that we have our data, we can come and update to say, okay, we have Q1, which is going to be 13 again. We have Q2, which is going to be 17,5. And we have Q3, which is going to be, it's 22. Okay, what is the next question then, Amos? They say, use the scale provided to draw what we call a box and a whisker diagram again.
Yes.
How are you going to draw the box? We're going to start with the box again.
Yes.
We have 13. Okay, we come and 13 and then we highlight there. We have 13. That's Q1 again. After that, we have 17,5 again. Okay, here's 17,5. After that, we have what? 22. Okay, here's 22 again. After that, you're going to connect your box. Connect your box. Connect your box. We're still fine again.
Yes.
And then after the box, what are we going to do? We are going to put the whiskers again. What is the minimum value? It's 4. So we come and highlight here with 4 again. What is the maximum value? 25. Okay, we put 25 here again. And then after that, we connect. We put the whiskers again. And then after that, we put the whiskers. Then this is going to be our box and whiskers. And then we're going to talk about the skewness of the date. Again, once you have the box, we can talk about the skewness. No? What should you say about the skewness of this date? So this is going to be skewed to the left again, or negatively skewed. Are we still together then? Okay, let's also tackle this question here. They're asking, are there any outliers in the set of data? No? How do you get outliers? How do we get outliers? So I will do this one and then I will go to the upper one, because even the upper one was asking us about outliers again. So how do you get outliers? That's the question. How do you get outliers? There's a formula that we use, Bashida, to get outliers. Now, what does the formula say? It speaks about one. Learners should know how to get what we call an interquartile range. So we have something called the range, and then we also have something called an interquartile range. Maybe let's start with the range. What is a range? A range is going to be equaling to max minus the mean. Again, this is going to be our range. What is going to be the range of this data? It's 25 minus 4, which is going to be equaling to what? 20. Okay, it's fine. Then we have number 2. We can have something called the IQR. What is the IQR? The IQR, it's not the range, but it's the interquartile range. It speaks about the range of the quartiles. So when we look for IQR, we look for something like this. We have Q3 minus Q1. Okay, what is our Q3 based on what we learned here? It's 22, again, minus. What is our Q1? It's 13, which is going to be, if you subtract these two, you get what? 9. So this is what we call the what then? Interquartile range. We have the range and then we also have the interquartile range. Okay. Now, let's move on from here. We want to determine the outliers. Okay. How do you determine the outliers? The outliers, we get them by doing the following. We are going to say Q1 minus, there's a formula. You remember when we spoke about how many values are lying outside the standard deviation, okay? Or two standard deviation? What was the formula for that? It will make sense if we start with that one. Again, we said mean minus the standard deviation again. And then we also said which we have mean plus standard deviation. You remember that again? So that's the formula that we use to get the values within, below, and above the standard deviation from the mean. Okay, what happens if a learner wants to get the outliers? If a learner wants to get outliers, this is how they get outliers. They get it by saying we have Q1 minus 1,5 multiplied by IQR. So that's the formula that we use. And then we are going to also have another formula that says it's Q3. So again, we have Q1, and then we also have Q3. Q3, we are going to say plus. Actually, we had something like this. We had mean minus standard deviation. Okay? And then what did we have to decide? We had mean plus what? Standard deviation. So we can compare them. But what is the difference between these two formulas here? This one, it used standard deviation. Okay? What does this one use? It used 1,5. And then if you ask me which way does the 1,5 comes from? From the formula. Yes. Yeah, it's yeah, you can think of it as a constant. Why did I decide on 1,5? I don't know. So it's Q3 plus 1,5 multiplied by the interquartile range. Actually, you see, we've already done one part. We've already calculated the interquartile range again. What is our interquartile range for this stage? It's 9 again. But we know what is Q1. Let's look at this. What is going to be Q1? Q1, it's 13 again, minus. And then we're going to say 1,5 multiplied by 9. You get that again? And then this side, what are you going to say? You know what is Q2 again? What is Q2? It's 22 again, plus 1,5 multiplied by 9. And then you go and type this in your calculator. If you were to type this in your calculator, you're going to have something like this. 13 minus 1,5 multiplied by 9. Minus 1,5. 0,5. 0,5. So in other words, this is what they're saying, Mashita. They're saying if the value is not an outlier, the minimum value that we can have is minus 0,5. That's the smallest value that we can have. Yeah. And then we go and use the same thing here. What is the biggest value that we can have? Instead of minus here, I'm not just going to go to my formula here. On my formula, I'm going to change this and put what? I'm going to put 22 first again. And then I'm also going to say what? Plus, which is going to be equal to what? Is 35, what, 5. And then you go to the values, then you check, are there any values which are lying outside? If they're lying outside, we consider them to be outliers. Yeah, but go and check 4. Where would you find 4? For example, it's within again? Yeah, if you check all these values, go with these all values here. Is there any value which is up outside? Again, they say the smallest value that you can have is minus 1,5. Again. What is the biggest value that you can have? It's 35. Okay. Do you have any value bigger than 35? Do you have any value smaller than 0.5? Are there any outliers here? We tell them what you know, and then this is the show. When they say explain, this is what you're going to do. This is the explanation part. You're going to tell them what you know. And then this is the explanation you've already explained to them, because you said the range of this data for it to be considered to have outliers is that the smallest value that you can have is going to be 0.5. But the biggest value that you can have is going to be what? It's going to be 31.5. You don't have to. You show the calculation. You mean that, yeah, you need to show them this, which this part and this part. There's a mark for this, yeah. And then, Mara, if you can write it here, they will give you a mark. I think they will know which you got it from here. There's no way which you can go there without there. So I'll say show everything here, and then come and tell them what you know. Okay, do it with this one, then when. Come and do it with this one. Okay, here we've already calculated. Okay? Yeah, tell us what is the range, number one. Number two, tell us which are the any outliers here. Yeah, tell us the range, okay, number one. And then number two, you tell us the interquartile range, and then you tell us are there any outliers.